Hey there! Welcome to Keepsakes and Her. This channel was born to be an avenue to share and inspire. Although keepsakes are usually tangible things, this platform opts to share them in the form of style hacks, DIYs, and creative projects while imparting life motivations as we work on them. Hope you enjoy this video and the upcoming ones. There was only one time I wore this skirt, and after that chance, it has been sitting in my closet for ages. So for today's project, we are turning the skirt into coordinates by resizing the length and making the top from scratch. So here's what we need: grading ruler for measuring, or tape measure if you don't have one, tailor's chalk or dermatograph for marking, and a trusty pair of scissors. The first step is to decide on the skirt length according to your preference, then mark it from the hem upwards. Take note that the excess fabric we will be trimming will be used for creating the top. So just a tip, make sure it will be enough for your desired length for the top. As for me, I am creating a crop top, so the length should be okay after trimming around 9 inches from the skirt. By the way, I'm so sorry if my head is in the way most of the time because I didn't notice the angle when I was setting up the camera, so pardon me. I'll do better next time for sure. So you will need extra fabric in the same color for the lining, plus pads and dressmaker pins. For the measurement of the top, you may use an old top of yours to follow the size. My preferred design is a bustier, so I can use this top as a pattern. Or if you have knowledge in pattern making like me, you can make a bustier pattern from scratch. We have to make 3 layers for the front because our fabric is sheer, so kailangan natin siyang liningan, and then we also do the lining itself. When you cut your fabrics, make sure you pin them properly in place so the measurements are even. Don't forget the seam allowances too. I usually do a 4/8 or 1/2 per seam, but it depends on your choice. Just don't make it more than 1 inch, especially on the bust part, because you might get a problem with easing. When you're done cutting, your pieces should be like this: 1 center front and 2 side fronts. For the self-tie back, we will cut 2 strips from the remainder of the fabric we used for the front. It's your call on how long you want the ties to be, but as for me, I just made the most out of this fabric that I have. These are all the pieces that I have for my top, including the center front, side front, ties for the back, and strips for the straps. As you see, I have 4 strips for the straps as the excess fabric won't make a long strip for the strap anymore, so I will just connect 2 short strips per strap. Whoa, I think that just sounded like a tongue twister. I hope it made sense. Transforming this skirt into coordinates made me feel like it's brand new. It's the same in life. We don't need a lot of new things to live a good life. Sometimes we keep searching, but little do we know that what we truly need are the ones that we already have. So while we still have them, we should learn to appreciate them. If you have a sewing machine at home, that would be more convenient, but if you don't have one, you can also hand sew the top, but it's gonna take you a while. I am using an industrial sewing machine because it is more ideal when it comes to sewing heavy fabrics and gowns. I got this machine for like 17,000 pesos if I'm not mistaken, and it's worth the investment, especially when making intricate pieces. If you are a newbie and you're planning to get a machine, you can also try a portable one if you're just going to use it for home project. When sewing the hem, the proper way to ensure that the edges won't fray is by using an edging machine, but I don't have that. And if you don't have one, just fold the hem twice. Usually the measurement that I do or follow is 1/8. So I just fold it ng dalawang beses na 1/8. If you're not so familiar with the figure fractions in a tape measure, well, normally we have 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and so on. And then in an inch, we have 8 figure fractions, such as 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, which is 1/2, and so on. Now we proceed to the top. When sewing the layers of the top, it's okay if you do basting muna or temporary hand stitch to put them in place. But if you have good sewing skills, pwede namang sabay na, just make sure to secure them with dressmaker pins. When joining the side front and the center front, both the right side or the main fabrics should be facing each other. Remember to take out or remove the selvage, which is the part of the fabric that has dotted marks and frayed edges, because you don't really need that. Remove what you don't need in life, sis. Also reminding you that you should take out the pins when your fabric reaches the needle, because if you don't, mag-break yung needle, and you know naman, ingat na kasi mahirap na pag nag-break. Anyways, yun na nga. Tahiin nyo muna yung outer layer with the middle layer and join them as one main fabric. Then afterwards, do the lining itself. Connect the center front to the side front. Then after you finish, you can sew them all together sa may neckline part. Be sure to leave an allotment for the strap depending on the thickness you want to strap. So if you like 1 inch strap or 1/2 inch, leave that space. Give it space, girl. Snip the fabric on the curvy parts like bust and neckline to provide ease. Don't connect them to side seam first, because this is where you will insert the self-tie strips for the back part. When you sew the straps, fold the edges inside para easier and hindi na kayo mag-invert. And as for the self-tie back strips, do the same trick we did with the skirt if you didn't have an edging machine. Fold twice to prevent fraying. Now you can insert the straps and attach the back part. And ta-da! This is the top! You can already keep it as it is if you're more of a basic type of person, but if you want to add embellishments, feel free to do so. I'm gonna put lace pieces on my straps to accentuate it. You can buy lace by the yard, or if you have lace appliques such as these, pwede rin. Plan which ones to cut to match the design that you want. For me, better kung same for both straps so the look will be balanced, but it's your discretion. Once you're done cutting, you will need your dressmaker pins once again to secure the appliques on the straps, and then you can start hand sewing. This part should be hand sewn because we need to make the threads less visible, because if we are gonna sew them to machine, the thread line will be obvious. When sewing the appliques, your guide will be the strap itself. There's no specific stitch na kailangang sundan, but the technique is just secure the laces in place yung saktong kapit lang at hindi mafo-fall. You don't really have to stitch all throughout the straps. And finally, this is my new bustier top with self-tie back and lace embellished straps. And yes, since we made it from scratch, I can definitely call it brand new. Imagine having a new piece of clothing without spending a penny. I would pair these cords with my lace-up boots just to keep it subtle and less formal. You could always create a fresh new feeling with the things that you already own and with the people that you already have. I don't really believe that you only see something's value when it's gone. Truth is, you know its value, but you sometimes take it for granted because you know it's just there. You get distracted by other things. You search for other available options. How about this? Let's create a brand new feeling with them, just like what we did with this skirt. It was just lying in my closet and I probably grew tired of it because of some new clothes I bought. When I upcycled it, it felt like new. Instead of buying new stuff or searching for new people, learn to see the value of what you have at the moment. If they have been there all along, maybe it's time to give back and give them attention. There's probably something you haven't seen yet or ought to discover about them. Choose the ones that you already have. Choose the ones who choose to stay with you, and don't forgo your chances with them.